is that I would be accused of saying things I didn't say. It's got to all be matter of fact. So I go and I meet Steph and Justin, and they asked me to give them an account of like what happened to our friendship, because we had a wonderful friendship within this couple. Okay, and so I give this beautiful account of the real life story of our friendship, and how it doesn't fizzle out for any bad reason. It's just a cessation of engagement. And Justin knew that I did my best to just periodically be seeing him and saying hello. And what happened, probably more than a year after Morgan saw that best friend, after Morgan was done with that best friend, the best friend's got a job and doing a school time, never going to see him. Okay, about a year, sometime, and I didn't know this. This is something I learned when I talked to Steph. Okay, I know what it is. This is how I'll present it. Okay, so I give this whole account of like our whole friendship and how, you know, what it just wound up where it wound up, and Justin says like, but what about the one thing? I want about the one thing. I'm waiting for one line. I said, what are you talking about? Okay, so what Justin told me is that it's been a year since we've seen them or had dinners with them regularly, and they catch wind through the grapevine that there had been an event, there had been an incident in which there had been broken wine bottles and knives, and Steph and Morgan going at each other with wine bottles and knives. And Steph and Justin heard that through the grapevine, probably 1 degree of separation, and they couldn't imagine it as being anything other than malicious and intentional, and very manipulative.
I'm sorry, who was that altercation between?
Okay, thank you. So I learned from Justin that allegedly at some time my wife had been speaking to someone, and my wife had claimed that there had been an incident between her, my wife, Morgan, with broken wine bottles and knives at Steph's house, like at a dinner, and that they had gone at each other somehow. And so that blew my mind, because now I understand how in the past year or so Morgan like just turns and walks the other direction if she sees them. It turned out that Steph and Justin had needed to tell everyone. They needed to tell all their friends, like, have you heard this? What's the deal with this? Does anyone know about this? And they never got to the bottom of it. If they had gotten to me, I would have said, oh my God, you guys, what you're dealing with is an implanted memory. The way it would have happened is that Morgan might have had a manic episode one way or another, and she winds up with things not seeming right, not making any sense, and she has to talk through it, and so she would have gone to someone she trusted. She would have recounted genuine memory, this exactly the same way you and I hold memories, and the need on Morgan's part would be for that person to help her work through the memory. Does that make any sense? Do you have any recollection of this? Is there any way, if it's wrong, that I can prove it, etc.? So the person she's talking to does not know that. No one knows she has bipolar. So the person hears it, takes it as realistic, and then just goes right to Steph and Justin to say, what is this? Why is she saying these things? And so you can just imagine, I have this encounter with this couple, Steph and Justin, and I find out, like, I don't have any friends. Of all these people who I thought that, like, I'm in a big community, people where, everyone knows each other, and, we're all trusty, we're all one big community. The reality is that, like, there had been a very toxic incident. No one knew what to make of it, and it just kind of soured my orientation to everyone in the community.
And I'm sorry, so there was an incident that you were involved in that kind of soured things between you and everyone in the community?
Oh, I wasn't involved because I didn't know. So Morgan would have had an implanted memory, allegedly. This is my theory. This is my narrative. I would love for Morgan to speak on this subject, but yeah, I just assumed that Morgan wakes up one day and with a memory that wasn't there before, and she goes to a friend because she has to talk through it. She does have this animosity, or she does have this energy, this like a issues between her and Steph that she's been working through in therapy. So it makes sense that the fixation on the ex best friend Steph, who betrayed you to one degree or another, working through that every day, every week in therapy, and then dealing with some like a manic episode that's going to result in an implanted memory, precipitated what happened. So what I have to this is something this is the conclusion I have to get to is that consider the only sibling who's been there in ways that siblings aren't there for other siblings. That person is bad because he's a physical threat. Steph, allegedly, Morgan used the term best friend. I thought it was very problematic. Morgan used best friend. This is my best friend. And we got along so great with a couple for such a long time. And then that person, it developed into Steph becoming a physical threat. And so me being the closest, me being the life companion, this spouse, it's the exact same risk. I risk being identified as a threat. All the hope in the world comes when it is proven that I am who I am and that I am not the threat. I'm not. If I'm being made to be a threat, I'm certainly not that threat in any way.
So you mentioned that you'd recently re-engaged with Kate. How did that recent conversation go? How did things go with?
It went well. It went well. And this is what I said. Kate, I said I just heard this from Steph and Justin. I just heard this critical intel, which is that Morgan made it's you could call it a turn and burn. She had already turned, but to say that you had a knife fight with someone that certainly counts as a burn. So I would call that a turn and burn. And so when I revealed that that was Morgan's move to the best friend, and it mirrors on perfectly with this brother who cannot be redeemed. There's no way for him to redeem himself, his family, anything after 19 years when he is. Well, so, yeah, I just, you heard it.
Okay. So wondering, since we last spoke, have you still been having any troubles with sleep, or has sleep
No.
been any better or worse?
Oh yeah, sleep's been totally, normal.
Okay, good. And have you been eating regularly, or have there been any appetite issues lately?
Nope, been eating a lot.
And any episodes where you felt like your mind was playing tricks on you? Like
No.
any possible hallucinations, voices, or any thoughts that people were out to harm you in any way?
Nope.
And was there any discussion either with Kate or with the counselor about IOP or about like an intensive outpatient program?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's why Paisley was having me in there. I just got right off the bat, like, are we here for that? Okay, make the case. You're not going to make the case? Okay, I got my hour dialogue.
Oh, okay. So did she try to suggest that as a...
Yeah, that's Kate's, that was initially, so Kate flew here, and real quick, she starts talking about programs like that, and what I saw that doing is validating Morgan, like, let's say you're going to do a program that's going to start in a month. Okay, well then when Kate, you go tell that to Morgan, Morgan says, oh, okay, great. I got a month before a program starts, probably got a month after the program starts, and he's crazy, like he's just crazy, and I'm not going to worry about him for the next 2 months. And so that is how it went. But Kate, like I don't know if you're still doing it, but Paisley, my dad, Kate, they keep offering the program, but when they're offering the program, it's like if you can get it into my hand